John. Air Force, um, medic, surgeon's assistant. I was in the service 7 years, and I spent 6 months in the United States of that 7 years. I was in England for almost 4 years. Went to Nam, and then came back to England. First weekend I got there, some guys at the barracks where I was just literally got in the country said, "Hey," and they started calling me then, "Doc, Doc," because it was a medical barracks. Everybody in there worked in the house. We had the biggest hospital in Europe at that time, next to Germany's Rhine, Main. That was huge, but we had the biggest one. Anyway, they said, "Doc, why don't you go with us?" I said, well, "Okay, I don't know these guys from Adam," but they just kind of took to me. They said, "Come on." I said, well, "They trying to haze me or what?" He said, "You got $25?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." So we got on a train, the train from there. And where we were at Lakenheath is about 60 miles from London, 60 miles north of London. Got on a train, went right to London. Then we got off the train, got in a cab, and went to the airport. It was $25. Got on at Heathrow Airport, landed in Orly, France, and we were in Paris in like 30 minutes. I said, "Oh my God," places I've read in books and seen, and I'm looking at the Eiffel Tower and Arc de Triomphe and Days I learned French in my high school, where I went to school in Oklahoma. I studied French for 3 years. But the other things happened after that, but because I went to England first. And then they had something during Tet in 68, when that big time movement on Tet Offensive. And they were losing people all over, choppers, medical personnel. And so some brainchild said, let's get an ATH together, was an air transportable hospital. And we couldn't wear a uniform, we couldn't wear insignias, we couldn't wear a lot of things when we went to these covert places. And even the tanker, C-140, Starlifter, we had a whole hospital in the ship. Wow. It's one of the most powerful, just the interview process that Nick has. He's the real deal. And he knows how to pull your spirit. A lot of the guys we see now, we don't talk about the war that much. To each other, maybe, but not publicly, and stuff like that. Like my wife says, you haven't said this in years, but she's gone through my PTSD, my night sweats, bad dreams, stuff like that. And it's a process, But I'm a certified peer counselor. I'm a suicide prevention trainers. I'm putting pedal to the metal. I'm out there for the healing.
Kind of fits in that.
And that's the bug that bit me, right now. And that's who I am as far as a veteran. And Nick pulled that out of us, and we were talking about experiences and stuff and looking at each other when we had the interview process. We said, wow, everybody doesn't have that kind of heart.